Coastline, California, there's been a scheduling error on the tracks between Lompoc and LA, causing slight damage to 2 locomotives.
At round 2 of Supercross in San Francisco, Cooper Webb and Jet Lawrence were lapped by Chase Sexton and Eli Tomac. Last week, in round 3, in similar circumstances that couldn't have been more different, it was Sexton and Tomac who were lapped. So who had Aaron Plessinger with the red plate 3 rounds in on their bingo card? Who had KTM sitting 1-2 in the points? Raise your hand. Sure. 3 races in, and only one rider, Chase Sexton, has been on the podium twice? Topsy-turvy. Catawampus. Mitch Kander at Racer X points out that not a single rider has repeated in any race, or even qualifying. Every heat winner, every LCQ winner, every fast qualifier has been different than the last. In both classes, in fact. Plessinger was the first rider this season to win a heat race and then win the main event in the same night. 2 mud races that couldn't have been more different, both in conditions and results. Where San Francisco had been a sloppy mess, San Diego was instead a sticky quagmire that dried into a bit of a goat trail. So as fans, we're shot from arguably one of the most unpredictable opening 3 rounds ever into an always unpredictable 3-main Triple Crown race. High drama ran rampant in San Diego. Kenny leading, only to cross-rut and hand the lead off to Plessinger, who would never be headed, being only one of several stories. And here we are, with Aaron thankfully able to sidestep the heartbreak of Detroit last year to grab that most coveted of all professional motocross wins, a Supercross main event. Then there was Webb having a bit of trouble, whether intentional or not, getting around not only Plessinger's teammate Sexton, but also his own, Tomac. Yes, both Sexton and Tomac held Webb's charge up, but was it intentional? Hard to say, but safe to say neither has had any real experience at being lapped, and also fair to say the track had become a one-lined goat trail by that point. Anderson used that one drier line most effectively, installing Jet Lawrence's charge. The incident and the aftermath of the race has of course been pounced upon by a certain segment of content producers, along with the vital message board, and I won't add to that discussion. Social media histrionics are of no interest here. As to the events during the race, Jet was clearly quicker than Jason. For his part, Anderson may have employed a subtle brake check here and there and hugged the good line, as any accomplished veteran might have done. But there was no apparent treachery. Jet looks to have more top-end speed, certainly, than Anderson at this juncture in their respective career arcs. But Lawrence doesn't need the kind of trouble Anderson is more than capable of serving up. After 3 races that have twice leveled the playing field, we now head to the 3 races within a race, Triple Crown. The history of the Anaheim event we covered before the season opener, so this time around, we'll take a look back at the antecedents of Triple Crown races. The Triple Crown format was introduced prior to the 2018 campaign. 8 Triple Crowns were held between 2018 and 2020, 3 in 18, 3 in 19, but with only 2 of 3 Triple Crowns scheduled for 2020 actually run in that COVID-altered schedule season. When the format returned for the 2022 season, there were 3 Triple Crown events on the schedule. Round 5's Glendale, Round 8's Arlington, and Round 13 in St. Louis. Then 3 more were held last year in San Diego, Arlington, and Glendale. Eli Tomac leads the way with 6 overall Triple Crown victories, winning 2 of them in 2018, Anaheim 2 in Minneapolis, and taking the 2018 Triple Crown trophy as well, and claiming his 3rd overall in Detroit in 2019. After the Triple Crown hiatus, Tomac returned to his winning ways with overalls at first Glendale and then Arlington in 2022. Tomac's sixth Triple Crown victory occurred in Glendale last year. Over 36 individual Triple Crown races, Eli has won 11. Tomac took the inaugural Monster Energy Supercross Triple Crown win in Anaheim on January 22nd, 2018. Honda's Cole Seeley actually won the first race on that fateful night, with Jason Anderson winning the final. But it would be Tomac, who finished 5-1-2, that was awarded the overall win with the lowest combined score. The second ever Triple Crown rolled around in March in Atlanta, and this time Anderson would come out on top, with 2-1-4 scores topping Marvin Musquin's second place effort of 4-5-1, and Tomac rounding out the podium with a 5-3-2 score. The third and final Triple Crown of 2018 would be round 14 of the series and take place inside a frozen Minneapolis stadium, with snow still on the ground outside despite a mid-April date. The podium was an inversion of sorts of the previous Triple Crown, Tomac's 1-4-3, besting Anderson's 2-6-1 and Musquin's 7-1-2. Eli, then, would become the first Triple Crown champion. In 2019, the first Triple Crown was again held at Anaheim 2 in late January, with Detroit hosting the second a month later and Houston the third on March 30th. Cooper Webb won the first race of the night in Anaheim. Infamous now for being the race where Coop turned and pantomimed shooting rival Ken Roczen with his finger pistols after passing Kenny in the last turn. In the second outing, Webb led from start to finish, unwilling to bend to the pressure put on him late in the race by his then Red Bull KTM teammate Musquin. Webb would give way to Musquin in the final race, secure that his 1-1-3 would take the overall ahead of Marv's 3-2-2. Tomac exploded out of the gate to win the final of the night and land on the podium with 4-4-1 scores. Tomac would win the second Triple Crown of the year in Detroit by just 1 point over Webb, with 1-1-6 scores. Webb struggled throughout the day, but was able to put it all back together in the last two main events. He went 6-2-1 to finish second overall. And in third, the veteran Chad Reed had a great night, going 3-5-7 to grab his first podium of the year. At the final triple of 2019, Webb would again take the overall win with 2-1-3 scores over Musquin with a 5-3-1, and Dean Wilson, then still riding the factory Husky, taking third overall with 3-2-5 results. The first Triple Crown of 2020 was held in Glendale, Arizona on January 26th. Team Honda HRC's Ken Roczen dominated the 450 class, earning his second overall win of 2020 with 3 fast and composed main event wins in front of 53,000 fans. Kenny led 38 of 39 total laps, raced over the 3 12-minute plus 1 lap main events. Tomac, still on a Kawasaki, finished 2-2-3 for second. Grabbing his second podium of the year, still Husky-mounted Jason Anderson got on the box with main event finishes of 5th, 3rd, and 2nd. Roczen continued his winning ways in the first race of the subsequent Arlington Triple Crown, winning wire-to-wire again. But in the second race, Kenny could only post up a 7th, and at night's end, his 1-7-2 score was bested by Tomac's 5-1-1. Anderson was third overall with 3-2-5 scores. The third Triple Crown, scheduled for 2020 in Las Vegas, would never happen, as the countrywide lockdown instead occurred. The format would not return until 2022. When the Triple Crown format returned, Eli swept the first two, winning both Glendale and Arlington. Tomac won 2 of the 3 individual races in Glendale, taking the top step with 1-1-3 scores. In Arlington, he only reached the top of the podium after the smoke cleared, winning with a 3-2-2 score. The third triple of 2022 was held in St. Louis, and it was Marvin Musquin claiming the overall. His first Triple Crown and his 10th and final career 450 main event win. At the first Triple Crown of last year's season, Sexton collected what was then only his second Supercross win. Sexton posted 1-5-1 finishes, to edge out Tomac's 3-2-13 results. At Arlington a few weeks later, it was Webb back on top with a 5-2-1, followed by Sexton's 3-3-2 and Tomac with a 1-4-6. And then, at the last Triple Crown held in Glendale, Tomac prevailed with a 1-2-1 finish. Sexton was second with a 4-1-3, and Barcia was third after posting a 3-6-2. Within the tight confines of the history of the Triple Crown, Eli Tomac is still the man, with 11 individual race wins from 36 races held. But there are 7 different riders who have managed to take the checkers in at least one of those races. Certainly the benefit of multiple gate drops is to provide for more opportunities for different riders to win. Although it's safe to assume that the Anaheim 2 track build began with wet dirt, the skies seem to be clearing for the next leg of the Supercross Tour. Saturday calls for California picture-perfect storybook weather, as again noted by Racer X's Rich Kendra. Aaron Plessinger claimed his first ever Premier Class win and became the 68th different winner of a Premier Class AMA Supercross event, coincidentally in his 68th try. Plessinger will take over the red plate, the first time the former 250 champion has had the points lead in the Premier Class in either Supercross or Motocross. Can Plessinger roll his strong 4-5 finishes in the opening rounds into the increased confidence and momentum that might make him a true player in this championship? Or can Sexton leapfrog his teammate to recapture that red plate? What do we make of Tomac going 9th, and then 2nd, and then being a lap down in the first 3 rounds? Does Barcia's podium mean he's recovered enough from last year's injuries to provide a true championship challenge this year? Ken Roczen has ridden much better than his results show, and not only is he always dangerous, perhaps more so in the 3-start format. Jet Lawrence's charge from the back all the way to 4th belies any real lingering problems with his thumb, but can he put the drama of the post-race behind him, along with the rest of the pack? Will we see retaliation from Anderson sooner or later? And in his final stateside appearance, at least until next year, can Jorge Prado's starting prowess pay big dividends in a Triple Crown format? Also, Prado's confidence going into 2024 MXGP after experiencing the frenetic pace of American Supercross? Whew. Good luck to Geyser and Favre. I like those guys, but good luck. 3 crazy races in, with the Triple Crown on deck.
It feels good knowing everybody's chasing me now, chasing the cowboy around.
And hey, if you liked this video, please like this video. Think about subscribing, maybe. Leave a comment if you can type. Meanwhile, thanks for watching this.